Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Sanders, and this is WatchArtSci, the art and science of watch collection. Today, we're going to talk about something that may appear to be contrary to just about everything a lot of people have said in watch collection. The other day, I was watching a video, and they said, "Well, this has a very high resale value." And okay, I can understand that. Somebody buys a watch like this Rolex here, and if they buy it new, this particular one is about as plain vanilla sub as I could find, and they sell new for about $7,500. And looking at the used, what they sell for used, they sell for about $6,500. Now, if you take your Rolex and you take it to a dealer, it's going to be about 30% less than you paid for it originally. So you figure, okay, depending on how you sell it, it's about 25% loss every time you do a flip on at least this particular model of Rolex. But as far as retaining its value, it does a pretty good job. Now, uh, the the thing to understand, at least as far as I'm concerned, is that, well, if something maintains its resale value from its original price, um, that's not that good for collectors. Wouldn't it be better if they really dropped in price from their original, and then we as collectors could go get them at a much better price? Okay, so this is from the collector's point of view, not from the seller's point of view. And if you're the kind of collector who likes to flip watches, it also applies. For example, let's say that you buy a watch, a used watch. The loss that you have isn't after you buy the used watch. It's after you buy the new one. And so let's take a look at a few of these. Now, the two watches that have most often been mentioned as watches that maintain their value have been Rolex and Patek Philippe. So let's take a look at a Patek Philippe, and there's one this particular one that I want to look at here is one I love. Okay, in fact, probably the very first Grail watch I had was this gondola, or one very similar to it. And it's good in all of the ways that I like a watch. I really like the look and the shape of it and everything else. Now, the new list price, or I guess the manufacturer's suggested retail price, and with Patek Philippe, if you're an AD, you better not discount them, because if you do, you'll lose your AD. Okay, so what happened was sort of interesting with this one and some others, and it may not last too long, but while it does, I'm going to take advantage of it. So if you buy one new, or it's about $25,300. If you buy one in condition zero, in other words, at one of the gray markets like Joma Shop, it's $18,495. Now that's about 27% less than the AD price. Now, why? How is this possible? Simple. This is part of the overstock that they've had over the last few years, and when there was what we referred to as the China crisis, because the Chinese had cut off buying watches, because of certain sort luxury watches, because so many of them were used in bribes. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, now, if you buy it used, the best used price I could find, or I don't know if it's the best, but it's close to it, was close to $16,000, $15,990. Now, from the new price, or from the manufacturer's suggested retail price, and I happen to know on this particular watch that Patek Philippe actually did drop it themselves. I think they first dropped it down to 21, and they still couldn't get rid of the ones that were being returned from China. And so they became available on what we call, and I think it wrongly so, we call it the gray market. Okay, so if we look at it from the manufacturer's suggested retail price, buying used, you save about 37%, which is pretty good. I mean, that's really good. But more realistically, people, especially today, in the day of the day of the internet, someone, especially collectors, who are, I think, a little more savvy about where to get their watches, um, you're talking a drop in value of only about 14%, which isn't very much. I mean, which is pretty good. And like the Rolex, they're between 15 and 25% in terms of the change in value from a new watch. Okay, so let's take a look at some other ones. Now, another well-known and popular watch is the Jaeger-LeCoultre, and the master control date is again. I'm trying to use sort of the start off with the simplest plain vanilla ones we can find, and Jaeger-LeCoultre comes out with a slightly different version of the master control date every year, and so the reference number changes, and it becomes a little tricky. So I'm just going to go by the watch that is a Jaeger-LeCoultre master control with a date, and that's it. Okay. Now, new, and this is something I really like about Jaeger-LeCoultre. You can go to their Jaeger-LeCoultre website, and they'll tell you what the what the prices are, which is for your AD price, your authorized dealer. Okay, so but like a lot of other watches, they end up at a place like Joma Shop in condition 0, which means brand new. And they sell for about $47.60. So that's about a 25% difference in price. And if you buy them used, you can pick one up for about $3,500. Now that's 45% discount over what, not discount, but difference in price. It's really not a discount because you're buying it used. But it's a lot less. It's about 45% less. Now remember, with the Rolex and the Patek Philippe, it was between like 15 and 25% realistically. But here it's 45% difference and about 26% difference in terms of from condition 0. Okay, so that becomes a good buy. It's also a very good buy because, beside the fact that it's very much a high horology watch, it's won a lot of Grand Prix d'Horlogerie de Genève awards, and it's not maintaining its value as much as a Rolex or a Patek Philippe. But look at the good side, because that means you can pick it up a lot cheaper for the used price. Okay, and then when you want to sell it, you're selling not a new from used, but a used from used, and you might get all of your money back, okay? I mean, somebody says, okay, well, this is a new watch, but the big drop comes after the new yacht. Now, the bigger the drop, the more you can save if you buy it after the drop. All right, so let's take a look at some more. This next one is one that I happen to have. I don't have it on. I have on my Vacheron Constantin American Historique 1921. Okay, well, this watch right here, my Harry Winston. Now, this watch is the one person comment, oh, that's a fashion watch. That's not a real watch. Well, they don't know their watches if they said that. What Harry Winston does, Harry Winston goes out and they get these really good movement makers. They don't make their own movement, that's true. but it's like they put in really good movements. This particular one had a Girard-Perregaux movement, but on top of that, it had the Agenhor module for the bi-retrograde, which is those things are like anything with Agenhor in it, usually costs a fortune. Okay, now, so the new price on this, the list price, you go down into over to Harry Winston's in New York and walk into their boutique or one of their authorized dealers, and it's going to cost you close to $20,000, $19,580. Okay, now used, the average used price, and I just looked this up on Chrono 24, it's about $10,000 right now. If you wanted to get a bi-retrograde, it would cost you about $10,000. Well, that's a 50% discount. Actually, it's a little less than 50%, but close. Okay, so that's a big drop in price. That's a heck of a bargain. Okay, rather than buying something that's like 15-25% less than new, here you can get this incredible watch for half of what somebody who walked into the store. Somebody walks out of a store with a $20,000 watch in her wrist. It's a used watch. Okay, all right, because as soon as they start using it, it's not the new watch anymore. Okay, this particular one, I don't want to tell you what I paid for it. For some reason, they gave me a heck of a good deal, even better than that, and it had been sitting in somebody's case whose initials were HW. He decided, well, he saw another one he wanted with HW initials, so he traded this one in and got the new one. And this is not a popular watch. I've got no problem with a watch that isn't popular as long as it's got something good in it and it's at a fantastic price. Okay, so again, here we have, the thing is that the resale value, I look for watches with terrible resale value because they're the collector's best friend. Okay, let's look at another one. This one is insane. Now, this is a guy that I get these emails every now and then, and this is someone who sends out this special list of watches they have. And this one was a Parmigiani Fleurier Ionica 950. Now, this is a solid platinum watch, all right? I just love the looks of this watch. I'm sort of big on Tourneau looks, even though I don't own one one of these days. And now this was originally $65,000, and it was a dealer display model. Well, they wanted to get rid of it because they quit making the Ionica. They have something called the Capla that's very similar to that, but not the same, and certainly nothing like this one with an 8-day power reserve and a power reserve indicator. And then if you look at the back of the watch, a very important feature, the movement is the same shape as the case. All right, so that is, he is offering it up for $14,500 from $65,000 watch. That's a 78%. Now, if I had that, I don't even have the 14,000. If I had that money, heck, I'd love to have that watch. And then I could say, well, I got a $65,000 watch, which is, and so again, this is like looking for watches, and Parmigiani doesn't hold its value too well, which to me is the greatest thing in the world. Okay, now the final thing I want to take a look at is Ulysse Nardin. Now, Ulysse Nardin, again, this is not a watch that's going to maintain its value, but you got to be careful, not only with Ulysse Nardin, but with any watch companies. Okay, so let's take a look at these two models. Ulysse Nardin is going through a change right now, and I think the change is they're getting rid of all of their non-in-house watches, okay? Or at least they're getting rid of the ones with bargain movements in it, like ETA or Solita or something that's not Ulysse Nardin. Okay, well, here are two watches. The Classico, The MSRP is $7,500. On the gray market, it's $4,450, and used it's $3,350. Well, from the MSRP is 55% discount. Now, from the gray market, it's 25, which sounds pretty good if you think that maintaining its value is important. All right. Not so good if you're looking for a drop, and that's what I look for. But there's already been a drop. If you take it from, that's the drop of the price was in the gray market, and then you got another drop from it. So it still turns out to be a 55% drop from what they wanted it for in the first place. Now the next one is one I just love the looks of this. It's a diver. It's called a Maxi Marine diver. At $8,500 MSRP. The gray market, you can pick it up for about $49.50, and used for about $3,700. Okay, so that's a 58% drop, which I think is good, and then a 25% drop from the other drop. But the problem is, it's got a caliber, it's got an ETA 2892. Designated as a UN-26, whereas the Classico has an in-house movement. So when you're looking for some good buys where there's a drop, sometimes the drop is that I think this happened with the Tudor. Once the Tudor Black Bay came out with their own movement, they couldn't ask for anywhere near that price for the old ones that had the ETA in it. But if you don't mind ETAs, okay, you can get good deals on those. But you sort of move out of high horology and move into a pretty standard horology if you're using ETAs and Solides and so forth. Okay, well, this was it for today. I wanted to sort of look at some different logic, and the different logic is that watches that don't hold their value can be the best values, all right, if you pick them up pre-owned, okay? All right, well, we're still having our Grand Prix pick. You can take a look at the video that we'll be showing, all right? There's a little blurb for it that shows up on the screen at the end. Or you can go to, if you have a Facebook page, you can go to the High Horology Forum, which is our forum that's related to this, and get more information about entering the contest. And there are 3 watches, and there are 2 chances to win. So, but time is running out. Here it is, August 17th, and the last day that you can enter is on August 30th. Costs nothing to enter, and you could win a free watch. I mean, what's not to like about that? Okay, this has been Bill Sanders for WatchArtSci, the art and science of watch collection. We'll see you on Sunday with another collection review.